Imagine standing on the edge of a rooftop in a crowded city. Below, millions move like ants chasing dreams, working overtime, playing by the rules. Some believe in hard work, fairness, and integrity. Others, they cut corners, manipulate, crush whoever gets in their way. Now ask yourself, who ends up owning the tallest building in that skyline? Who has their name on the company, the very system you live in? It's not always the honest. It's not always the fair. More often than not, it's the ruthless. Waipayo, because the world, as it turns out, does not reward goodness. It rewards boldness, not morality, but audacity. And once you begin to see this pattern, you can't unsee it. Section 1, the lie we've been told. From childhood, we're fed the same comforting story. Work hard, be kind, follow the rules, and eventually success will find you. Recognition, power, influence. But as we grow older, reality creeps in like a shadow at dusk. You see it at work, the employee who lies on reports gets promoted. You see it in politics, the one who smiles and shakes hands while making backroom deals ends up in power. You see it in history, tyrants become emperors. Conquerors become legends. So what's the truth? The truth is, power is not a reward for virtue. It is a prize seized by those who dare to take it with or without a conscience. We've been sold a fantasy, a beautiful lie. That success naturally follows talent and morality. But history doesn't back that up. Politics doesn't back that up. Neither does business. The uncomfortable truth. The system doesn't malfunction when ruthless people rise to the top. That is the system. Section 2. History's brutal pattern. Just look at history. Julius Caesar betrayed the very Senate that trusted him and became a god in the eyes of Rome. Napoleon crowned himself emperor after tearing apart Europe's balance of power. Alexander the Great scorched entire cities not for defense, but for dominance. Were they kind? Numb. Were they strategic? Absolutely. And what about the billionaires of today? The ones who fire thousands in the name of efficiency, crush competitors, lobby governments, dodge taxes. They're not playing the game. They own the board. Power is not handed to those who wait their turn. It's taken by those who step forward and say, "This is mine now." Section 3. Why the ruthless thrive in business and politics. Let's zoom in on modern arenas, business and politics. Why do corrupt politicians seem to thrive while their honest rivals fade away? Because politics is not about justice. It's about persuasion, manipulation, and control. The politician who tells people what they want to hear, even if it's a lie, often wins over the one who tells hard truths. The game is rigged in favor of those who know how to rig it. And business. Business is not a charity. It's war fought not with weapons, but with strategies, mergers, layoffs, and market domination. A CEO who chooses loyalty over profit, fairness over speed. They're quickly outmaneuvered by someone willing to fire thousands to save millions. It's brutal, it's cold, and yet it works. Survival in these worlds belongs to those who are willing to be the villain in someone else's story. Section 4. Fairness is a myth built to control the masses. Let's be honest. We are taught to be good, to follow the rules, to believe that justice always prevails. But who wrote those rules? The very people who benefit from your obedience. While workers are told to stay loyal, corporations will drop them in an instant. While citizens are told to obey the law, the rich rewrite it in their favor. And while the masses believe in fairness, the elite exploit every loophole to protect their power. Fairness is not a universal truth. It's a story we tell the powerless to keep them from rebelling. Because if you believe the good will eventually win, you won't question why. They rarely do. Section 5. Nietzsche and the truth behind morality. Friedrich Nietzsche didn't just challenge morality, he exposed it as a tool. In Beyond Good and Evil, he wrote that morality isn't some divine law, it's a construct, a psychological weapon used by the weak to restrain the strong. What we call goodness is often submission. What we call evil is often ambition. The powerless praise humility, patience, and meekness, not because they're noble, but because they're safe. The strong, they create their own code, one based on excellence, dominance, and self-overcoming. To Nietzsche, the ultimate force in human nature is the will to power, not the desire for happiness or peace, but the drive to shape the world to one's own will. Section 6. The two moralities, master and slave. Nietzsche drew a hard line between two moralities. Master morality, the morality of the strong. It values courage, power, ambition, and independence. It is the mindset of leaders, creators, and warriors, those who don't seek permission, but take what they believe is theirs. Slave morality, the morality of the weak. It praises obedience, humility, and victimhood. It is the mindset of those who cannot rise, and so they glorify their suffering as virtue. Slave morality teaches that power is corrupt, that ambition is selfish, that wealth is evil. Why bio? Because as long as you believe that you'll never try to claim those things for yourself, it's genius, really, a morality designed to keep the majority in their place. Section 7, power in all its forms. Power isn't just political. It isn't just military. It's intellectual, creative, psychological. Philosophers, artists, inventors, they've all used the will to power not by brute force, but by shaping reality itself. They bent the rules of society, language, and belief to their vision. Einstein redefined space and time. Picasso shattered the definition of beauty. Steve Jobs didn't ask what people wanted. He told them what they would want. These weren't passive people hoping for approval. They didn't ask permission to change the world. They simply did. Section 8, why kindness alone doesn't lead to greatness. Let's be clear. Kindness is not weakness. But kindness alone does not win wars, build empires, or disrupt industries. Alexander didn't weep his way across the world. Caesar didn't forgive Brutus. Napoleon didn't wait for democracy. They were feared long before they were loved, if they were ever loved at all. The truth is, leadership demands a blend of wisdom and ruthlessness. Fairness is optional. Strategy is not. Section 9, if you want power, understand the game. So what does this mean for you? Should you lie, manipulate, crush others? Not necessarily. But if you want to arise in business, influence, or life, you must understand the game. Understand that fairness is not enforced. That success does not go to the most deserving. That power gravitates toward those who move boldly, think strategically, and act when others hesitate. The first step to reclaiming your power is to stop pretending the system will hand it to you. Final thoughts, what will you choose? So here's the question. Will you live your life believing in a lie that keeps you small, or will you confront the harsh truth and use it to grow? Because once you understand that morality is a tool, that power is not given, but taken, that the system rewards those who dare, you begin to change. You stop asking for permission. You stop waiting to be chosen, and you start writing your own rules. The world does not belong to those who wait. It belongs to those who act. In the previous part, we began to peel back the layers of power to see it not as something gifted by the world, but as something seized, shaped, and mastered by those who dare to step beyond convention. Now the real question emerges, what will you choose to become? The uncomfortable truth that power demands us to confront is this: will you live by the morality handed down to you, or will you create your own? Because here's the reality. As long as you cling to traditional morality, you remain powerless. You're trapped in a system carefully engineered to keep you small, obedient, and harmless. The rules you were taught as sacred, they're often the very chains that bind you. But when you reject that script, when you rise and begin to forge your own moral compass, that's when everything changes. You no longer follow the path. You become the path. You stop living reactively and start architecting your own destiny. History never remembers the compliant. It remembers the rebels, the disruptors, those who had the courage to defy the herd and rise above it. Success doesn't reward the nicest, the kindest, or even the most deserving. It's not a lottery. It's not a miracle. It's a set of psychological laws that silently govern human behavior. Across history, politics, business, across every domain, those who ascend to power don't do so because they were virtuous. They succeed because they possess specific mental traits that set them apart from the masses. These traits are not inherited. They are cultivated, and they form the real currency of power. Ambition, the relentless hunger that refuses to die. The first and most vital trait is ambition, but not the soft, dreamy kind. This is a hunger that never sleeps, an obsession so deep that nothing short of total victory can satisfy it. Ordinary people settle. They accept their situation. They make peace with mediocrity. But the ambitious, they are never at peace. Every challenge is fuel, every failure a fire starter. Ambition is not dreaming of a better life. It's refusing to tolerate anything less. It's waking up each day with the unshakable belief that you were built for more and proving it. Think about history's greatest leaders, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. Not one of them was content. They wanted more, and they took it. Decisiveness, the power to choose before the world chooses for you. In the realm of power, indecision is death. The weak hesitate. They overthink. They stall waiting for perfect conditions that never come. But the strong, they act. Decisive leaders don't wait for opportunities. They create them. They trust their instincts, choose a path, and commit adjusting only when necessary. This doesn't mean they make reckless decisions. It means they move. While others are still debating, they're already halfway to victory. Most people fear risks. They fear rejection as lost failure. But the powerful embrace risk. They understand it is the price of greatness. Fear, it paralyzes the weak. But for the powerful, fear becomes a compass. If something scares them, it means it's worth doing. Think of the greatest conquerors and revolutionaries. None of them played it safe. They were willing to gamble everything because they knew fortune favors the bold. Strategic ruthlessness, knowing when to obey and when to break the rules. The world preaches fairness, but those who rise to the top, they know a darker truth: rules are only real if you believe in them. The powerful do not follow rules blindly. They study them, they follow them only when it benefits them, and they break them without hesitation when it doesn't. They know when kindness is strength and when it's just a leash. Strategic ruthlessness isn't cruelty, it's effectiveness. It's cutting emotional ties when they hold you back. It's doing what must be done even when it's uncomfortable. The cold truth is this: success does not favor the most moral. It favors the most psychologically prepared. The world doesn't reward your kindness. It doesn't care about your good intentions. It rewards ambition. It rewards decisiveness. It rewards fearlessness and the ability to act with clarity and strategy. If you want to rise, you must cultivate these traits. Because power is never given, it is taken. The seduction and the danger of power is seductive. It draws you in whispers, promises of control, of freedom, of legacy. But power, like fire, consumes those who fail to master it. Those who rise through sheer dominance, through manipulation, through raw, unchecked ambition, often believe they are untouchable. But history tells another story. Power alone does not guarantee longevity, because what raises you up can also tear you down. Julius Caesar, the target of his own greatness. Julius Caesar, one of the most cunning, brilliant, and ambitious leaders in history. A man who bent Rome to his will, who inspired armies, outwitted rivals, and rewrote the destiny of a republic. But in the end, his ambition made him a threat. The Senate turned against him. Friends became enemies. In 44 BC, he was assassinated not by his foes, but by those who once stood at his side. It wasn't just betrayal, it was consequence. Napoleon Bonaparte, the emperor who conquered too much, and Napoleon transformed Europe. His military mind was unmatched, his vision revolutionary. But ambition once again became blinding. He stretched too far. He marched into Russia ignoring all warnings. His brilliance curdled into arrogance, and his empire collapsed under its own weight, from emperor to exile, from legend to lesson. Napoleon's downfall was not bad luck, it was overreach. Modern titans, from dominance to obsolescence. Today, the pattern repeats. Blockbuster ruled video rentals until it laughed off Netflix. Kodak invented the digital camera, but clung to film, too afraid of change. Tech giants, once untouchable, crumble when they fail to evolve. Innovation punishes stagnation. Arrogance invites collapse. Power does not tolerate pause. Those who fail to adapt, to evolve, to stay vigilant against their own ego fall. The final truth: power must be mastered or it will destroy you. Here lies the ultimate paradox of power. Ruthlessness without wisdom will implode. Dominance without self-awareness will rot from within. Success without balance cannot last. The greatest mistake of the powerful is this: they start believing they are invincible. But history, brutal and honest, always delivers the same verdict: master power, or be destroyed by it. But as we saw with Caesar, with Napoleon, with corporate giants who thought themselves untouchable, the moment you stop mastering power, power begins to master you. That's the turning point. That's the warning whispered through the corridors of history. So now the question becomes personal. If you rise, well, Will you learn from those who fell, or will you join them? The answer lies in one word: balance. True power is never blind. It does not come from obeying rules blindly, nor from destroying them recklessly. Real lasting power belongs to those who can see the rules for what they are, tools to be used, not cages to live inside. 1. Reject naive morality. Goodness alone will not save you. Harsh as it may sound, it's the truth. From childhood, many are taught that kindness, honesty, and hard work will eventually be rewarded, that the world is fair and the good guys win. But history writes a different script. The world doesn't operate on virtue, it operates on power leverage and perception. People who cling too tightly to moral ideals often find themselves outmaneuvered by those who manipulate those ideals. And no, this doesn't mean you need to become the villain. But it does mean you must stop pretending the world is kinder than it is. Play by the rules when they serve you. Break them when they don't. That's the real game. 2. Embrace strengths. Real psychological strength. If you seek power, you must become someone who commands it, not through deception, not through shallow manipulation, but through inner strength. What does that look like? Ambition. Set goals so high they scare you. If your dreams don't intimidate you, they're not big enough. Confidence. Stop seeking approval. Own your choices, even if no one claps. Decisiveness. When the moment comes, act. The world follows those who move with clarity, not those who ask for permission. People are drawn to certainty. They follow strength not because they're weak, but because strength feels like direction in a chaotic world. 3. Stay strategic. Power isn't always about domination. The greatest leaders in history didn't just conquer, they calculated. They formed alliances. They struck deals. They waited for the perfect moment and then acted with precision. Julius Caesar didn't walk into Rome with just ambition. He walked in with the loyalty of allies. Machiavelli didn't preach cruelty. He taught timing. The art of power isn't smashing everything in your path. It's knowing when to strike and when to smile. The lesson? Let emotion serve strategy, not the other way around. If ruthlessness is required, apply it without guilt. If kindness gains loyalty, use it without fear. Your morality should be a weapon, not a prison. 4. Adapt or fall. Nothing is permanent. Not empires, not influence, not even success. If history offers one undeniable truth, it is this: those who refuse to evolve are destined to collapse. Empires fall because they cling to outdated strategies. Businesses crumble when they ignore innovation. Leaders are overthrown when they become too comfortable with power. The true masters of power are not the most ruthless, they are the most adaptable. They see change coming before it arrives. They shift. They grow. They stay one step ahead always. Rigidity is death. Evolution is survival. The balance between morality and power. So here's the paradox. Power doesn't have to corrupt. Success doesn't have to destroy. The most legendary leaders, the most impactful thinkers, didn't blindly choose between good and evil. They mastered both. They didn't become monsters nor martyrs. They became masters of themselves. So ask yourself, will you be a pawn in someone else's game? Will you be the brute who rises fast only to fall faster? Or will you choose the third path: strength without corruption? Because the truth is, the world doesn't care about fairness. It doesn't hand out trophies for virtue. It rewards those who understand the game and play it well. The people who rise to the top, they're not always the smartest, the kindest, or the most educated. They are the ones who see the world for what it is, not what they wish it to be. Power in itself is not evil. It's a force. Like fire, it can cook your food or burn your house down. In the wrong hands, it leads to chaos. In the hands of tyrants, it breeds suffering. But in the hands of the wise, it shapes the world. So if you want power, you must embrace the truth. Success is not given, it is taken. It requires hard choices. It demands stepping beyond conventional comfort. And it asks you to stop waiting and start claiming your place in this world. But never forget, or deeper without control is a ticking time bomb. Those who rise without understanding its cost are always brought down not by others, but by their own arrogance. So now we arrive at the only question that truly matters. Will you master power, or will it master you? If this message stirred something inside you, if you want deeper insights into power philosophy and the psychology behind human greatness, subscribe to the channel. Challenge yourself, rise above, become more, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this truth. Now tell me in the comments, is morality a weakness in today's world? Or can true power exist without ruthlessness? Let's talk.